Genesis chapter 16, Beresheet, Perek, Tet, Zion. Genesis chapter 16. Sarai eshet Avram lo yalda lo vela shivcha mitzrit ushema Hagar. Oh, I should read it more, better phrasing. Sarai eshet Avram lo yalda lo vela shivcha mitzrit ushema Hagar. Now Sarai, Abram's wife, had not borne to him, and she had an Egyptian handmaid named Hagar. Vatomer Sarai el Avram, hine na atzarani Adonai miledet, bo na el shivchati, ulai ibane mimena, vayishma Avram lekol Sarai. And Sarai said to Abram, Behold, now the Lord has restrained me from bearing. Please come to my handmaid, perhaps I will be built up from her. And Abram hearkened to Sarai's voice. Vatikach Sarai eshet Avram et Hagar Mithrit, shivchata miketz eser shanim, לשבת אברהם בארץ כנען, ותיתן אותה לאברהם אישה, לא לאישה. So Sarai, Abram's wife, took Hagar the Egyptian, her handmaid, at the end of 10 years of Abram's dwelling in the land of Canaan, and she gave her to Abram, her husband, for a wife. Vayavo el Hagar vataha, vatere ki harata vatekal gevirta be'eneha. And he came to Hagar, and she conceived, and she saw that she was pregnant, and her mistress became unimportant in her eyes. Vatomer Sarai el Avram, Chamasi alecha. I want to just see this here. In this verse, Vayavod al Hagar v'tahar v'terek harata v'tekel gevirta v'neha. He came to Hagar, and she conceived, and she saw that she was pregnant. Who is she who is seeing that she is pregnant? That's a little bit ambiguous. And her mistress became unimportant in her eyes. Gevirta. Let me look at a different translation because see here. Because Gevirta sounds like that means mistress, Gevirta. Let's see. In verse 4 it says, and he went to Hagar, and she conceived, and when she saw that she had conceived, her mistress was despised. I guess when Sarah saw that Hagar conceived, then Hagar was despised in Sarah's eyes. Gevirta, I guess, means mistress. I always thought like Gever, like Gevir, it's like something important, but maybe not. Okay, fine. So basically, Hagar became unimportant. She became like a kilkul, tekal, and became like, devalued, degraded or something. Vatomer Sarai el Avram, chamasi alecha, anochi natati shivchati b'chekecha, ותראה כי הרתה ואקל בעיניha, ישפוט Adonai beini ubenecha. And Sarai said to Abram, may my injustice be upon you. I gave my handmaid into your bosom, and she saw that she had become pregnant, and I became unimportant in her eyes. Oh, I got it. Okay, and her mistress became unimportant. Oh, it's confusing. Her mistress. Oh, maybe it's the opposite. Maybe Hagar. Maybe Sarah's the mistress. What does mistress mean here? This meaning. Mistress, a woman of position. Oh, I got it. A mistress can mean. I got it. The mistress in this case is Sarah. I'm sorry. If you look in modern context, a mistress can mean a woman having an extramarital relationship with a married man. But a mistress can also mean like a woman of importance. In this case, the mistress is Sarah. So basically, her mistress, so Sarah became unimportant in Hagar's eyes. My mistake. Sorry. So then, the next verse explains that Sarah said to Abram, that may my injustice be upon you. I gave my handmaid into your bosom, and she saw that she had become pregnant, and I became unimportant in her eyes. May the Lord judge between me and you. There's there's a backstory here that I'm just not getting. Why would Sarah get angry at Abraham, or Abram in this case, for getting her pregnant when she's the one who gave it to Abram? She's the one who gave Hagar to Abram. So why would she say, the Lord judge between me and you? You're the one who gave it to Abraham. So why are you getting angry? And I became unimportant in her eyes. And first of all, you're her mistress. You could tell her what to do. Why are you? There's something that we're not getting here. And probably commentaries talk about it, but I figure I'd bring it up. ויאמר אברהם אל שרי, הנה שפחתך בידך, עשי לה הטוב בעינייך, ותעניה שרי ותברח מפניה. And Abram said to Sarai, here is your handmaid in your hand. Do to her that which is proper in your eyes. You gave her to me. All right, so then take her away if you don't like her. That's basically what I'm seeing is going on here. From a simple reading of the text. And Sarai afflicted her. How she afflicted her, I don't know, but maybe she whipped her, I don't know. And Sarai afflicted her, maybe she just said harsh things to her. And she fled from before her. Vayimtza'a malach Adonai al ein hamayim bamidbar al ha'ayin b'derech shur. And an angel of the Lord found her by a water fountain in the desert, by the fountain on the road to Shur. So I guess Hagar ran away as far as this place, and that's where an angel of God saw her. By Yomar Hagar Shivchat Sarai E Mizebat Va'ana Telechi Vatomer Mipnei Sarai Givirti Anochi Borachat. And he said, Hagar, Sarai's servant, where are you coming from? And where are you going to? And she said, from before Sarai my mistress, I am fleeing. ויאמר לה מלאך אדוני שובי אל גברתך והתעני תחת ידיה. Wow, this is really mind-bending. What does the angel say to her? He says, and the angel of the Lord said to her, return to your mistress, return to Sarah, and allow yourself to be afflicted under her hands. Puzzling. Okay. ויאמר לה מלאך אדוני הרבה הרבה את זרעך ולא יספר מרוב. And then the angel of the Lord says to her, I will greatly multiply your seed. I will. The angel says that I will. Not that God will, that I will. How is the angel speaking like God? The angel says, I will multiply your seed. He's speaking on behalf of God, I understand that, but he's saying, Harbe arba zarech, v'lo yisaper lerov, and it will not be counted for abundance. Okay. ויאמר לה מלאך אדוני הנך הרה ויולדת בן וקראת שמו ישמעאל כי שמע אדוני אל ענייך. And the angel of the Lord said to her, Behold, you will conceive and bear a son, and you shall name him Yishmael, for the Lord has heard your affliction. So this is kind of like a little bit out of order chronologically, because in the beginning of this chapter, we already found out that Hagar conceived. So then she's chased away, and after she's chased away, the angel says, you will conceive. But I thought she conceived already. So how is the angel saying you will conceive? It looks like it's out of order, out of sync. So when did this chasing away happen? This is confusing. But it's good to bring up these questions, and I'm sure they're brought up. I'm relatively certain I'm not the first to bring these up. So, and the angel Lord said to her, Behold, you will conceive and bear a son, and you shall name him Yishmael, for the Lord has heard your affliction. ויאמר לה מלאך אדוני הנך הרב יולד בן וקראת שמו ישמעאל כי שמע אדוני אל ענייך. והוא יהיה פרא אדם. He will be a wild donkey of a man. והוא יהיה פרא אדם ידו בכל ויד כל בו ויד פני כל אחיו ישכון. And he will be a wild donkey of a man, his hand will be upon all, and everyone's hand upon him, and before all his brothers he will dwell. What does that mean? He will dwell before all his brothers? ותקרא שם אדוני הדובר אליה אתה אל ראי. And she called on the name of the Lord who had spoken to her. But wait a minute, we just saw that the Malach was speaking to her. Malach Hashem. V'tikra Shem Hashem aduver eleha. And she called on the name of the Lord who had spoken to her. So is this saying that she's speaking to the Malach? Vayomer la Malach Hashem. And then, Vatikra Shem Adonai Hadover Eleha. She called on the name of the Lord who had spoken to her. Ata El Ra'i. El Ra'i. Ra'i. Ki Amra Agam Alom Ra'iti Acharei Ro'i. You are the God of seeing, because she said, have I seen him here? Also, have I seen? This is really talk about ambiguous, cryptic. Have I seen him here? Also, after I have seen. What's the first seeing and what's the second seeing? This is literally the words in Hebrew. Ki amra hagam halom ra'iti acharei ro'i. I don't know how people even read the simple meaning of this verse. She called the name of the Lord who had spoken to her. She said, you are the God of seeing, because she said, have I seen him here also after I have seen? That's the words. How does anyone understand this in the simple meaning? Have I seen him here after also have I seen? So, apparently she's seen whoever she's talking to twice. And she's saying this, and she's calling the God of seeing because of this. So, if you're just going to read this simple meaning, I mean, this is like a tongue twister for the mind. And I would venture to say that many people just skim right. I mean, I always did skip right over this. This is just hard to make sense of it. So I'm not even going to try to make sense of it, but I'm going to simply these videos are made for me reading verse by verse and explaining whatever I'm able to, and asking whatever I don't understand, and leaving these questions open for them to be answered, because the question can be answered if it's asked. So that's what I'm doing. That's the purpose of this. Asking the questions, they're being recorded, and 10 years from now, God willing, 20, 30 years, even after all of us are gone, it will still be. I mean, I don't even know how long YouTube will last. How long will YouTube go? 100 years from now? 200, 300 years? Imagine YouTube is going to be around in 300 years from now. These questions will still be here, and then we can still draw upon it. So it's really an amazing time that we live in, that we're able to record things with our computers, with our electronic devices, and log them into reality. The Book of Remembrances really has a new meaning now with YouTube around. It's a book of remembrance. This will be remembered, God willing, as long as YouTube is around. I look at videos from me from 15 years ago, and I go right back there, and it's like I see it in video. I know exactly. It's like the memory is so clear. But at that point, from 15 years before that, I didn't have clear memories. Like, I can't look back into, let's say, the year 2001 and see things as clear as from now, from 2025, looking back at 2010. 2010, 2011, 2012, I can look back and see video form exactly how things were, the feeling of it, everything. That's amazing. That's really nice. And so it just gives a comment of what, there was a book called, it was by Marshall McLuhan called, I think, Understanding Media. I think that's what it was. He analyzes all different kinds of media. In his day, he lived in the 60s, 70s. He analyzed like radio versus newspaper versus TV. But I can only imagine what he would say about the internet. And that's, and his one major thing of his was the medium is the message. That whatever medium comes out to the vast, the social public, to humanity, there's a message in that media form. So when there were only newspapers, there was a message given that this is how we are to receive information. Like in the 1800s, before there were newspapers, but there was no radio. Then when radio came out, that was its own message. It was like audio only. But then when TV came out, and now you have audio and visual. So I would be so curious to hear what Marshall McLuhan would say when YouTube comes out, and you're able to record yourself, and everyone in the world can see it. I mean, that's like the next frontier in consciousness. Anyway, I went off on a major tangent there, but it was just because of the question that in verse 13, I don't know how to make sense of that. But, I can always look at Rashi. That's, let's see, 13. An expression of wonderment would I have thought that even here in the desert I would see the emissary of the omnipresent after I had seen them in the house of Abraham, where I was accustomed to seeing angels. And you should know that she was accustomed to seeing them because Manoach saw the angel once again and said, surely will I die. And this one saw 4, one after one, and she was not frightened. Oh, okay. So Rashi says that Agam Halo means she saw the angels of Abraham, that those were angels. But it's funny, it's very interesting that Rashi references Manoah from Shoftim Yud Gimel, because this angel was no ordinary angel, I think. And Rashi seems to be is comparing this angel that spoke with Hagar to the angel that was Manoah. Okay, let's move on. How long have we gone here? Wow, 20 minutes. Okay. Al ken kara la be'er lachai ro'i, hine ben Chadash uben Beresheet. Therefore the well was called Be'er lachai ro'i, This is really trippy. Who's talking about a well? Therefore the well was called Be'er lachai ro'i, hine ben Chadash uben Beresheet. As the Targum renders, a well upon which a living angel appeared. Rashi doesn't really explain it. Where was the well? I mean, Rashi says that they appeared on a well, but then it just... Okay, anyway, let's go on. But Teled Hagar Avraham ben Vayikra Avraham Shem Beno Asher Yada Hagar Ishmael. And Hagar bore a son to Abram, and Abram named his son, whom Hagar had born, Ishmael. V'Avraham ben Shmonim Shana v'Shesh Shanim beledet Hagar et Ishmael le'Avram. And Abram was 86 years old when Hagar bore Ishmael. And Abraham was... So there's a lot of secrets here, a lot of cryptic things that we're not being told, but can be revealed in in relationship to other things. But Rashi says here that it was written in praise of Ishmael to let us know that he was 13 when he was circumcised and he did not object. Midrash Haggadah. So it seems to be that Ishmael wasn't all bad. I mean, we call him bad. I mean, we'll find out that Sarah got rid of him because he was taunting Isaac or something. But another observation I'd like to make, and numbers are very important in my analysis of things, but Genesis chapter 16 has exactly 16 verses. And I'm not inclined to think that that's an accident. So I'm wondering what 16 has to do with it.